right, we're back live. Well, we were live. This is all recorded, actually. That's a lie. We're back and we're recorded online for you to watch. Oh, man. So this is sort of a really good online presentation, which is interesting. It's coincidental because this just so happens to be the Shacknews 2022 Game of the Year deliberations for best online presentation. And no, we do not make our own online deliberation eligible for this, even though we know it would win if everybody that wasn't us voted. But with that said, there were some truly wonderful online presentations that Bill thinks has already been won. But no, it hasn't been won.
No. Somebody put that in the winners column, trying to fill out their column at the last second.
Okay, that wasn't Bill. Someone else was cheeky. I apologize.
That's why I was like looking at it weird. Yeah, no, that wasn't me. Somebody messed that up.
All right. Well, you know, we had a lot of really good presentations this year, but who will be considered the best? I don't know. We're about to find out. Who wants to throw their nomination out? Ozzy, you had an interesting nomination, if I recall.
I do. And sorry, refresh my memory. This is for best online presentation, yes?
Yes.
All right. So I definitely do have a nomination for this, and it shouldn't surprise anybody that we're nominating Devolver again for their E3 show. Now, interestingly, I think I might be one of the only ones who nominated it. And we started to touch on this a little bit last year, but like when you're wacky every year, it kind of stops being wacky. Like, you know, the act kind of starts to get a little old. And I went into this Devolver presentation thinking it's going to be more of the same stuff. No, like, first of all, they led off with Mecha Suda 51, which is like a weird idea in itself. But then, like, as the presentation went on, they added lore. Like, we started to get story out of this. And I'm like, wait a minute, there's an actual backstory to Mecha Suda and to, like, that whole Devolver Digital crew and Nina Struthers and everyone else. And it's just like, okay, it got captivating by the end.
I
don't remember a lot of the games they showed off. I remember they showed off, like, Cult of the Lamb and a few of those. Oh, and they showed off that, what's that skating game that we're all looking forward to? See, that's about
the Skate Through Hell one? Is that
Yes, that one.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called. I think it's something Glass.
That probably speaks to how not effective it was as a game's presentation.
Yeah.
But, like, as a spectacle, I really appreciated what they brought this year. And this is from someone who thought that, like, their act had kind of, like, you know, worn thin.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly think it did wear thin this year. I think the Sudabot is the only, like, really charming or redeeming quality factor of that whole experience. The fact that we remember the presentation more than the games too makes me think it's taking away from its purpose. And I feel like that when you talk about how are they going to top how over the top they are, I think they really hit a wall last year, honestly, with their presentation. And they're just like, look how fucking meta we can get, bro. We're gonna fucking slam your face into a wall of meta. And it's losing its effect. Like, I get that, like, I like what the Devolver does and I like their presentations, but I really feel like you take Suda away from it and you've got a pretty dull event that isn't really focused on selling games.
I've enjoyed some of their presentations in the past, so I'm not, like, hating on them at all, but I do think that there is a question, and I'm not giving a definitive opinion, but I think, like, if you're trying to promote your game, there is a question of, like, am I being overshadowed by the person or the company that I'm trying to get to promote my game? Yeah, I don't know. Like, the fact that the story every year is Devolver and it's not the games ever, I think, like, you could just do a presentation that had nothing to do with games if you wanted to, but you didn't need to do it in this way. I don't know. I don't really have an opinion negatively or positively about it, but I just think that that's a good question to ask yourself.
The games that they did show off were really cool. I will give them that. Devolver's games are always quality.
Yeah, but you shouldn't be the star of the show when you're trying to promote something else. Like, don't be like, hey, I want to show you all my cool friends, but let me just talk about myself and I'll be the most memorable thing about this.
Yeah.
But
There you go.
I do appreciate Mekasuda's advice that you should not throw money at your screen because that will not help you in any way.
Yeah.
I
There you go.
I'm gonna go with my nomination was for like on the to that point that you guys were talking about, a show that was like the games felt like the show was literally built from the ground up for me. Tokyo Game Show 2022's showcase a had so many good things for me this year. Between like new stuff, remastered stuff, and like additional content coming to stuff that was already out. Like I was so happy with what we got out of Tokyo Game Show this year. We got confirmation that Front Mission 3, one of my all-time favorite games of all time, is being remade. We got confirmation of the Suikoden games. We got more Tekken 8. We got an extended ending on Deathloop, which is like one of the few things that that I will sort of admit wasn't my favorite things about Deathloop. We got now that got fixed at that the announcement for that got put out at Tokyo Game Show. That entire show from top to bottom, as far as games and things that interest me, was just 100% killer.
Yeah, Tokyo Game. I wish I was at Tokyo Game Show again this year. I miss Tokyo Game Show so much. But they really did make an effort to make sure that people were able to see what was going on. And yeah, it's a lot of fan service there. A lot more games that aren't necessarily popular here in the US
Yeah.
too, but still have a fan following. Which I think speaks to some of the games that you mentioned. But yeah, I want to keep things moving, going down this list if you don't mind. So who would like to bust out their nomination next? Anybody?
I mean, I
Anyone?
can.
All right, go for it, Denny.
Yeah, so I nominated the Silent Hill presentation because it was something I didn't expect to happen at all this year, and it did, and it had more information than I thought it was going to have as well. Starting with the fact that they've got multiple projects in the works and a movie coming out at some point. So I thought that was really interesting. It was the breadth of scope of what they showed off. Both, obviously the Silent Hill 2 remake, which is looking like it should be pretty interesting. Obviously, there's a lot of conversation about blooper teams involved and stuff like that. But that being the fact, Silent Hill F, and then some of the interactive stuff they showed off in the works, and the fact that they brought back the same director for another Silent Hill project. There's a lot of different things that started up some conversation amongst the horror community that I thought was really interesting.
They're like, we're gonna make 10,000 Silent Hill games. Take your pick. I really like the thing they teased. I think that might have been Silent Hill Up, but it's the one where it's like the girl floating down the river and she gets to the island and like mushrooms explode out of her head, basically.
Yeah, they got like some apparently some folks involved that are have a pretty solid cult following, I guess, with the both story side and creative end art wise for that project. So,
and I think they're bringing back Akira Yamaoka to do the music for the new one too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, for Silent Hill 2, I know that him and Masahiro Ito are both involved in the remake project. So there are some members of Team Silent actually involved with making sure that I guess this kind of keeps faith to the original in that regard. So
Sweet.
Just going from basically a decade of nothing Silent Hill related to having all this come through down the pipeline in one presentation was pretty epic.
Man, well, after talking spooky times, I could use something wholesome. I know a couple people are looking to nominate Wholesome Direct 2022. Who would like to take the reins here? Morgan? Donovan?
I liked Wholesome Direct quite a bit. I thought that it was kind of the perfect antidote to the blitz of gaming conferences that happened in June. A lot of positive vibes, very chill. Always pleasant to watch compared to a lot of the other ones we have to watch annually.
Yeah, it is kind of I liked last year's Wholesome Direct. I like this year's Wholesome Direct. It is kind of like the nice cozy blanket of presentations during that whole Summer Game Fest E3 time of year, you know. And the games that they show off, they're all adorable. You want to like pinch the cheeks of every one of these games that they show off, you know. Yeah, a good time for everybody. There we go. Morgan, did you want to say anything about Wholesome Direct, or are you good?
I mean, I think with each year that they do it, they get better and better. And I think that this year that was definitely the case. I really enjoyed watching the presentation this year. I liked how even before it started, they kind of had like they were doing like a painting, a watercolor painting for the countdown, like live on the stream, which I thought was really cool and a nice touch for. Can't remember what the game is called off the top of my head, but it's for an upcoming game that has that kind of art style. I also like the fact that it's just yeah, I don't know. It's just wholesome. You know what you're getting when you watch the stream, and it's
Quite
nice,
literally,
relaxing. Yeah,
quite literally wholesome.
yeah.
Yeah, it really is. They're very sweet. But you know, there's another presentation that was quite wholesome, quite quite a lot of quite a lot of fun, and that was the Nintendo Direct Super Mario Brothers movie trailer. Uh, I mean, I saw a lot of cool game presentations. I saw a lot of stuff to get me hyped, but I don't think I've been elated by anything as much as I have been by that movie, that first reveal trailer. Just to like, because you know, you hear Chris Pratt's gonna be Mario, and you remember what the original Mario movie was like, right? And then like you see that like opening, that you know, the opening of the trailer, see like Bowser's ship, you get to see him, you get to see Bowser himself, you get to see like all the Koopa Troopas, you know, and it looks so freaking gorgeous. And then like it just keeps going and going, and it's a visual treat. Like it seems like they're really nailing the tone. Like it really got me excited and nostalgic. You know, Mario is something that is ingrained in me. It's ingrained in most gamers, no matter what generation of gamer you are. You know, Mario is usually a part of you. It's something that you grew like. Mario games are a way that a lot of people like bridge the gap between like their kid gaming and them gaming. It's like you know, uh, a good starting point, a jumping off point a lot of time.
I think it really did itself favor by like not just, you know, obviously it is a presentation, like it wasn't just a trailer, right? Like
Yeah,
we actually got to meet some of the cast members, like not like in the first one specifically, but also in the second one. But you know, I know you're referencing the first one, but we did get to meet some of the cast members, and it kind of helps develop a connection between the movie and the cast. And it like for me, knowing the cast in a movie is a big part of it. You know, like I'll watch a movie because it has a particularly great cast or actors that I'm a big fan of, and I think that especially in a movie where it's animated and you're depending on voice actors, it's great that they didn't just throw a trailer out there and then make you run to the Google machine and like figure out like who is playing who. Like it did a really good job of introducing and connecting the characters to the cast. So
yeah, absolutely. But I don't think this is the only Nintendo Direct that's been nominated. Is it,
Correct.
Sam?
That's correct. I'd love to talk for a moment just about Nintendo Direct that occurred on September 13, or it could have been September 14. I'm not too sure. Time zones are a little bit weird.
I think it was
I know
September
there's been
13 here.
Okay, cool. I know there've been a lot of Nintendo Directs, but I think this one in particular really stood out to me for a number of reasons. Tunic release date on its Switch was revealed. It covered Front Mission First Remake and Front Mission Second Remake. The first Splatfest in Splatoon 3 post-launch was revealed. Nintendo announced that there were more Nintendo 64 games coming to the online expansion, including a host of Mario Party titles.
Get to the main event, Sam. We know what you're getting to.
I'm working up there, man. I'm just teasing you. I'm teasing you, right? So we got Pikmin 4 as well. Plus, you've got Crisis Core as
Is
well.
that what you're leading
as...
up to? Oh, okay.
No. Oh, mate, more. GoldenEye coming to Nintendo Switch Online. Like, finally. But to cap off the entire thing, we got to see more footage of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. It was just a bombastic and incredible presentation from start to finish with something for everyone.
I did love that in the middle of that Tears of the Kingdom first look, that you see Link making the Skyward Sword dive, and I'm like, that's why they re-released that last year. I get it now.
Yeah.
David just growling inside.
I killed David inside just a little bit.
You just drained his stamina bar, and now he has to go run and pick up a demo fruit to regain it.
Yeah, of all the things you couldn't upgrade, it was your stamina. That's a good idea. Yeah.
Well, man, is that it? Do we have any other nominations? That might be it. That's a good nomination. That was a day of bangers. That was not
Like
that's
Sam didn't
nothing
even
but
mention
bangers.
the new Fire Emblem that's coming.
There's a lot of games there. There's a lot in that presentation, and they were all fantastic.
All right. Well, with that, I think unless anyone else has anything they'd like to say, we can put this to a vote. All right. Sweet. Denny, let's start with you, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna most likely stick with my Silent Hill.
All right. Sticking with the Silent Hill. What about you, Donovan?
I'll roll with Wholesome Direct.
All right. Gregums.
Gotta love a company that doesn't give a shit about its message or its brand, does whatever it wants. Devolver Digital.
All right. Fair enough. TJ Denzer.
Man, I think I'm gonna have to join Denny, because like I went into the Konami presentation ready to just be like, man, they're just gonna disappoint us again. And then they gave us all of the Silent Hill ever.
They showed you the ways in which they'll disappoint you.
Yeah, it still remains to be seen. But like I went in there expecting nothing good and was very pleasantly surprised as a Silent Hill fan.
Fair enough. What about you, Ozzy?
I've heard good arguments here, and you know what? The more I think about that September 13th Nintendo Direct, I think I'm going to go with that.
All right. Fair enough. It was pretty exciting. Morgan.
I'm gonna stick with Wholesome Direct.
Not so wholesome. Bill Lavoie.
Sam was close. It was very close. And if this didn't exist, I would definitely have gone with Sam's argument, but I am going to go with the Super Mario Bros. Movie, the reveal presentation.
Trailer reveal. All right. Bump it. Sam.
I hate to
Chandler.
throw a banner in the works, but like as excited as I am for all the games that are announced, a Mario movie. How could I like? Maybe Ozzy wants to come with me over here, but a Mario movie, amazing. Yeah, pop me down.
All right, that's two. And you know what? I'm down for the Mario movie reveal too. And you know who else is down with that? Asif. So there you go. That's it right there. And now we got to see what the young master Steve T said. And I believe he said, yep, he believes in your September 13th Nintendo Direct. But you know what? Even the faith and power of Steve is not enough to do it. Even though that was incredible. And fuck yes, new Zelda. And fuck yes, new Fire Emblem. And fuck yes, everything else they showed off. But let's face it. Like, most of us have been waiting our whole lives for a good Mario movie, and that trailer has us hyped and has given us a lot of hope. The Nintendo Direct.
Blake, I didn't vote.
Oh, I'm so sorry, David. You didn't vote. Do you want to vote?
Yes, Wholesome Direct.
Wholesome Direct. Well, your vote. It's like you didn't vote because Nintendo Direct Super Mario Brothers movie trailer reveal is still the winner. Not that your vote doesn't matter, David. In this case, it didn't make the difference, though. Maybe next time.